Hello. Oh, I could be live. Now I could be live. I think I could be live. Woohoo! Oh, it's amazing when it works. Amazing.
Oh, right, I'll send that email now.
Yes, I think you should. Hello, good evening, and welcome. We are 3 minutes early, but it's okay. We're testing things. A MacBites live event with no event. What could be better? So it's all about you guys. So we're going to need feedback. We're going to need feedback live. We want to hear chat. I've lost my page already. Oh, fabulous. I've got 19 browser windows open. Fans going crazy.
Which microphone shall I? Oh, that one.
That one.
It's got the light.
It'll pick it all up. It'll be fine. Right. Hello. I can see the chat now. Fantastic. Oh, Paul, excited in Spain. I'm excited too. I'm just not in Spain. Hello, Graham. Fantastic. Great. You can hear me.
Oh, it's there.
You can see that it's in front of your face. Right. We've got all sorts going on here. We have new kit. Ooh.
We have old kit.
We have old kit. Yes, sadly.
And we have no kit at all.
Do we have no kit at all?
Got no kit.
Oh, poor baby.
No
Poor
kit
baby.
at all.
We've got a live video so you can see my desk with all the new kit on it. We've got a demo of a fantastic app.
Haven't we missed something?
Have we missed something?
Yes.
No, not yet, because it's not the top of the
No,
hour.
it's not something.
No.
No.
Are we going to do the...
Yes.
You'll see what it's like. Hello to you in California. We're in cold, freezing Manchester. Did it rain today?
No. Yes.
It must have done.
Spat.
It's Manchester, it must have
It's
done.
spat.
Yes, not great weather. Not great. Now, Kevin, on the other hand, I don't think Kevin's with us tonight, but Kevin is in Virginia and he's had snow. And when I say snow, like a foot of it, you're jealous. Jealous. Love snow. So, I was saying, we've got a demo of an app as well that I've fallen in love with.
You have?
Yes, and it was one of those things where Mike hears about it and he rolls his eyes quietly to himself. Yes, admit it. Go on.
Silence.
Thank you.
No, it says silence.
No, you did.
All right, I did.
She's at it again. There's another, but this one is amazing. So I'm going to check that you can see my desktop, and I'm going to check that. What on earth is that? Oh, it's a cable. Why is there a cable in front of me? I was just wondering what on earth was going on there. I'm going to check that you can see a video as well. All you'll be able to see at the moment is I've got it propped up, but it's not great. Oh, come on, let's try and get it.
Do you want my iPad holder?
The other side of there, that'll do. Yes, they should. Oh, you can see all the boxes on the top of my shelf. Well, you will do in a minute. Right, I'm going to share my desktop, make sure that you can see that. That'll be blue. And then... And I'm in a text conversation with some friends.
Let's not have any political points.
It was a toilet brush, what can I say? I'll talk about that later. Right, I'm bringing that on. And you should then be able to see that, which is a camera pointing at all my new kit. And there's me. Hello.
And there's
you.
There's me.
There you go. So hopefully you can see all of that. Fantastic. Blue it is. Blue what? There you go. You're just catching up with me. You're just catching up with me. So any second now, you should be seeing a camera pointing at all my tech. And what looks like something very dodgy with the Apple Pencils over there, but it's not. There it is. Woohoo! Fantastic. You can see the waving of the fingers. There's the waving of the fingers.
There's your finger.
That's my fingers.
There's mine.
There's yours fingers. Can I just do that? Yeah. No, it's the other way, isn't it?
Has Paul taken the night off?
There's the boxes. There, that's got my Apple kit in it up there, and that's the MacBites Magic Cupboard.
Has Paul taken the night off to be here?
I think Paul's serving cocktails in his spare time as well. Anyway, it's now 1 minute past, so we can do the...
Right.
Are you doing me up? I've got an intro. No.
Welcome to MacBites. Episode
After Hours.
After Hours.
Ooh. Right, okay, so what we were going to do was we were going to talk about the Apple kit of the week. So we'll get rid of this and we'll bring in some stuff that we're going to talk about. And what we want you to do is put all your news of the week in the chat. So fantastic. Oh, he's only serving himself. That's brilliant. Right, okay, so there was an Apple event. There was new kit. Guess who had to buy it?
Not me.
Sorry.
So that leaves somebody else.
Might buy Siri.
Oh, yeah.
His finger slipped. No,
Really?
it was iPads first of all. There was a calamity, obviously, wasn't there?
Was there?
Oh, there was.
Oh,
Have you
there
forgotten
was.
the calamity? It was a shopping with Elaine moment. It wasn't good. So we have a new iPad in the house. So I've got that up there. So we've got that to talk about. Who else has bought a new iPad? Tell us in the chat. Were you tempted? If not, why not? So normally when we do a MacBites Live, if you've been with us, we have an Apple event running in the background and they interrupt us right and left, telling us about games demos and shopping figures and rubbish like that. And all we're interested in is the kit. So tonight we're concentrating on the kit. So the first bit of kit that I purchased, notice that, it was me. It was me that did it.
No change there.
Okay. Was an iPad. Now, I went for the 11-inch iPad. So, yes, the first calamity was trying to buy it. I'd made my mind up. Oh, Graham's only had his Pro for a year. I don't let that stop me, Graham. I must admit.
I've only had mine for a year. You've only had yours for a year.
18 months, it was June. I counted the days. No, last June we got 3 iPads, didn't we? We got
3 between 2 of us.
3 between 2 of us, which meant one of us
one
had
was
2.
come out by Siri.
Yeah, that's what I said. You got, tell them what you got.
I got an iPad 12-inch, big one.
12.9.
12.9. Why are you turning that towards me?
Because that's going to be in the way. You need to be talking to that one. Hopefully everyone can hear you.
I got a 12.9-inch iPad Pro, which has served me very well for a year and a half. I don't feel that I need another one.
I, of course, did. Last June, I got a 10.5 and a 12.9. And I was set on the 10.5. Really quite fancied the size of it. But then the same event, they announced Affinity Photo for...
Designer.
No, it was Photo. For iPad, and I thought that was going to be amazing on a bigger iPad. So I got both of them. What can I say?
And is it amazing?
It is, and the interface is different. So the screen size does make a difference. They don't just scale it up, they put different things on it. But this time I decided that because the screen size was exactly the same, and for portability purposes, my iPad's what I would like to carry around with me. I decided I would go for the 11-inch and not buy 2. Although, bless his heart, Mike did say if you want to get the pair, do so. I refrained. There's a reason for that. That'll be coming up later. You'll see that actually when I show you the iPad. But all did not go well. Good evening, Daniel. Good to have you with us. All did not go well in the purchasing department, I am sad to inform you. Mike was busy that night. You're about to get it in the neck, dear. Mike was busy that night, and I said...
I'll see you later.
Yeah, okay. And it was just after the event. We came off air. The event was a stupid time, if you remember. It was sort of 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And Mike was busy, so he said, get some food and leave you with it. And I said, well, I need to think about, the pencil and the iPod. And don't worry. There'll be plenty of them. We walked in last time. They're not going to run out of pencils, said Mike. Famous last words. Hello, Deborah. Good to have you with us. So he disappeared. So I'm sitting there thinking, do you know what? I know exactly what I want here, so I'll sort it out. At which point, the pencil went on 3-week back order. Guess whose name was Mud, dear?
Me.
You. We'll sort it out later, he said. Yes, that didn't go well. So I threw a complete strop. You've got anything to say about that?
That's an understatement.
Oh, yeah. Tore him a new one. Anyway, that was that. I refused point blank to order anything and went to bed. You're thinking, how on earth did this end well? But it did. It did. Following morning, now bear in mind, I'm not good in the mornings.
I redeemed myself.
You did redeem yourself, but I'm not good in the mornings. No, Mike logged into the store. I think my parting words at bedtime were, if I don't have a pencil next Wednesday, you're dead meat. So he was doing his best to acquire said pencil by the following Wednesday. And you were leaving late because you were working not far away. So you kept coming in to see if I was awake. And like I say, I'm not good in the mornings. Not good at all. And have people got problems? Is this no, that link is a redirector. That link should be redirecting you to YouTube, which is where we are now. So you should be there. You should absolutely be there. So At the very last minute, before he literally had to walk out of the door to go to work, he said, "Sorry to wake you, but do you want an iPad and a pencil?" I mean, well, obviously. And he'd managed to find one. So, lesson be learnt from that. Just because they say they're on 3-week back order on Wednesday doesn't mean they don't have them in stock on Thursday.
No.
For delivery the following Wednesday. So all went well. So let's get this camera working, get that full screen, and let's see what arrived. Okay, now I'm seeing that there. So what I'm going to do, get rid of that, get this in here, take that full screen, and you should be seeing my iPad. So let's get that full screen. There we go. Get that out of it, and there is my iPad. Ooh, with pencil at the top. With pencil. Right. It has got a case, but that's another saga. So I'll open that. And there you go. Oh, and there's my messages. Luckily, it doesn't say what that message says, so I'll get rid of that. And I've got an upcoming event as well, so I'll get rid of that. So there's my... oh, that didn't go well, did it? Why have you come out of full screen? So there's my iPad. I went for the space grey one. And now it's turned off. Come on, back you come. You'll notice there's face recognition there, and it's telling me I'm not near enough. So I'm all right now. There we go. Swipe it up, and there it is. Now, I was trying to get that full screen, wasn't I? Enter full screen. There we go. And there's my pencil on the top. The pencil that arrived on the Wednesday. And it's gone back out of full screen. Oh, no, it hasn't. That's on the other screen. So there it is in all its glory. As I say, it's a space grey one. I went for the 256 gig. Didn't go for the biggest one. Don't really use all of that storage. So decided to save a bit of money. That way I can have another one next time.
Really?
Did I not mention that?
No.
Okay.
We just did now.
I just did now.
Live on air.
Well, now everybody knows. You found out at the same time everybody else did. So, yes, that arrived. Beautiful, isn't it? If you've not seen the pencil really does click. Have a listen.
Bright pink desktop.
It's purple. There we go. And there's the pencil saying it's connected. And that's how it charges. So it flashes up and says 100% as well. The first time you connect that, you get a big graphic representing the pencil going across the top. Then, of course, there was the slight matter of the case. Had a look at the, what's it called? Folio, the one with the keyboard. 180 quid. Are they joking? But I had to seriously consider it because I couldn't find any others. And that's because if I just show you the top of this, I take that off there, you should see there's a little mark there. That's the magnet. But of course, the pencil snaps the full length of it. So what was happening was when you went to buy a case, they all had a cutout for the pencil. But the only bit that was cut out was the magnet. And the pencil wouldn't stick to it. So Apple had clearly given them figures, but they'd not actually given them the right information. So none of these cases worked. And to be honest, the price of them, they were anything up to sort of £30–40. I thought, I'm not buying one unless it's absolutely spot on right. I should get this out of the way, shouldn't I? That's my Twitter feed. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that as well. And then you can concentrate on what you can see. Right, that's better. So I waited and waited, and it's really strange. I've never used a keyboard with my iPad on a permanent basis. I've never had, right back to iPad 1, I've used a keyboard, but it's always been a separate keyboard. In fact, I can show you the keyboard that I like to use. I can reach it. And this is the keyboard I like to use, which is a Logitech. It has a groove in it at the top here. And the iPad stands in it, like that. There's an iPad stood in it. Let's get that.
The whole effect.
There we go. So it kind of sits in it like that. And that one's in a gel back. That's got a gel case on it. And it sits in it like that. Well, it would do. The right way around. Go on. Oh, maybe I've got it locked. Right. And down here, there's 3 keys, 1, 2, and 3. And that lets you flick between 3 different iPads or 3 different devices. So that's the keyboard I like to use. But because I was in the market for a case for this beautiful thing, I seriously considered the folio case. £180, just couldn't do it. Could not do it. So what I decided to
What's
do...
another 180?
Well, I did think that.
There's some very nice comments in there.
There are some very nice comments. Thank you very much. Stoke-on-Trent. That's not far away.
Manchester's not either.
No, Manchester's much nearer. We're about 8 miles south of Manchester, and Stoke-on-Trent is...
about 40.
About 40. Mike took me through there when I bought my...
I was just going to say that.
Now, here's a story about Stoke for you. We're going to be completely off-piste with this. This is why it's after hours. There's no organisation whatsoever. Mike, we were heading off to Derbyshire to buy my first Mac, and Mike said, it'll be much quicker if we go through Stoke-on-Trent. Trouble was, they were building a bypass. We went the scenic route. I know Stoke-on-Trent every single inch of the darn place.
So do I. That was pre-sat-nav days.
It was pre-having a clue days.
Pre-Google Maps days.
It was pre-anything. We followed the diversion signs, which was fatal.
I got you there.
He got me there in the end. Luckily,
you got your Mac?
Yes, I let the dog navigate in the end. It was that bad. So I hope you had a good time when you were visiting anyway. And I'm glad we're fun to listen to. We're crazy here, you know. That does help. Yes, we are the only office with more iPads. In fact, let me take you over there, show you that. Here's the other iPads. There you go. There's the white 12.9 at the back. Oh, there's a 2009 MacBook Pro there. Then there's the white 12.9, the black 12.9. That one there in the reddish case with the line on it is an iPad Air 2. The one in front is an iPad Pro. And the one in front of that is another iPad Pro. Can't remember the year of that. And that interloper there, that is a Kindle. Mike's just dumped this lot on my desk. So Mike's got an iPad 1. And what's this? This is an iPad Air. An iPad Air. And an iPad 2 by the look of it. Well, I did have more. Shall I show them that as well? Right. Promised you a scenic tour here, so let's take you across. We're going past the Kindle. There we go. And there's more. There's my iPad 1, my iPad 2, my iPad Cyril, some iPhones and some other stuff. That's an Android one. And there's an Alexa. In fact, we've got 2 Alexas there talking to each other and more batteries there as well. So you're quite right, Paul. We've got lots of kit. Kit is not something we're short of, I can assure you. We've had
like 2 iPhones talking to each other.
We have all sorts talking to each other. In fact, when the Alexa...
The Series aren't real.
Oh, the Series are real.
Are they real?
Yes.
I
If the Series says Alexa, play whatever, it does. And then don't go there. Don't go there at all. Right, so let's get this turned back on and carry on with what we were talking about, which was I was looking at the case and I decided it was horrifically expensive. So I went half price. Okay. I do have an Apple Watch. Mike's got an Apple Watch. Put our Apple Watches together. There you go. Apple Watches.
Here's Apple Watch.
And there's a spare one on the shelf up there. Don't ask. I decided to look at the other case. And there's a case that looks like... do you remember iPad 2 when it had the magnetic thing? The magnetic cover. It's like that, but it's with a back. So I looked at that. 80 quid. Or you could call it an eye-opener. Good point. And I thought that was all its money as well. So in the meanwhile, I'm keeping my eye on Amazon. And I find this, which is very, very similar to the Apple one, as you can tell by looking at it. It's got all the stuff that the Apple has on in terms of the corners are open. So everything is open all the way around it, which means the pencil works. The benefit to me was with it... So there's the other end, and that's the brand. It is an ESR, I think. The benefit to me was, over and above the Apple one, it's black, and the Apple one's grey. So let's open that up again. Now, if I want this to work, it's going to have to Face ID me. So come on. I'll have to tilt it up, I think, so it can Face ID me. Let's get it propped up. Where's the... Do that. Face ID. There we go. I'm Face ID'd and I'm in. So that's the cover on the inside. It is exactly the same as the Apple one, to be honest. Now, how it works... So can you hold that, Mike, and point it down there? Because I'm going to need 2 hands for this one. Don't turn it off. Right, this is magnetised to it. So if I show you the back side of it, There's 3 things here which connect the keyboard, and the magnets are all the way around the edge. So obviously this is twanging to it, but there's also magnets going all the way around the edge. So if I put that down there, and you can see just how thin this is, it doesn't, I'm missing the camera there we go. It doesn't add much in the way of bulk to it at all, and it's incredibly light. But I just get that basically in the right place and let go, and it snaps the rest of it.
Hi, Kev.
Hello, Kevin. So
Kevin's
there you go.
Also made a comment.
And what's he said?
Something are you buying something on Amazon?
You should see my Amazon account. Oh dear. And there's the back where it's cut out for that as well. So I'm happy to say that one was $29.99. I was still hyperventilating at paying that. Normally I'm prepared to pay sort of £10 for it. But it's exactly the same as the Apple one. So if I open it up like that, you get an idea for how that works there. And I'm happy to say it does work. It does work really, really well. So I can recommend that. Now you hold back to that. The other thing I wanted, I didn't particularly want to cart this around with the ends open like that. They do overhang here by about 1 millimetre, but it's not much if you were to drop it at all. So it needed more clothes. Good job I don't buy lady clothes as well, isn't it? So I bought something else from Amazon, Kev. Right, I bought one of these. This is called a Pro case. It's like a sort of leather thing. Slot at the back. Room on the inside here for business card, whatever. And this cutout here is for the pencil to sit in it. So I haven't even tried this in here with the case on because it was pretty tight to start with. This is the first time it's going in here in the case, so fingers crossed. It fits, fantastic.
If it doesn't work, we'll have swearing.
There we go. So I think I would have to push that down a little bit just to get that sealed. Now that does leave you with the pencil, but the pencil can slot down there. So not perfect. It's actually made for a 10.5, but the 11-inch isn't that much different. So that's why we went for this. Hold on to that make. That make is, I'm trying to get it where you can see it, it is a Pro case. That was £15, so it's actually half the price of the other one. And this is the one I'd carry it around in outside. If I was taking it out to do work outside, I'd have it in there. So that would be an occasional thing for me, but I thought it was definitely worth £15 for that. The quality is amazing. It's incredibly flexible. It's incredibly thick and padded as well. You just look at the width of that. It's got a lot of padding on it and it's quite soft. So happy to recommend that as well. So that was our adventures with our iPad.
With your iPad.
Okay, with my iPad. Right, so that was the iPad. Now, hopefully in the background you can see more new toys.
Nobody mentioned that.
More new toys, look at that.
We're all concentrating on the iPad, obviously.
Well, this was the story of the sad sorry story of my MacBook Air. Now, I'll show you now my original MacBook Air. And that's doing a job tonight. That's in the live feed tonight. So that's what I see when I'm live streaming to YouTube. What we want to see is that it says good, and it does. Fantastic. So that's my old MacBook Air. Now that is an early to mid 2012. And I must admit, when I bought it, I didn't want to buy it. I'm just going to give everybody a couple of seconds to get over that. In fact, do you think I should repeat it? They might have thought they've misheard. I didn't want to buy it. Now, obviously, there's a story behind that, isn't there? The story behind that is that I had a 17-inch MacBook Pro and I wanted, I wasn't particularly concerned about it being a MacBook Pro. What I needed was something lighter to work with. And the reason I needed it then was because my father was getting increasingly ill and I was taking him to a lot of hospital appointments. So my mother said to me, you cannot take, that MacBook Air with you, and you can't really get away with an iPad because the iPad was iPad 3 at the time and it didn't really do what an iPad can do today. So she said, now's the time to buy a laptop. And this was the laptop. But I wanted to wait a year because I felt the battery life would be improved. And of course, 2013 rolled around and it was. But by then I thought, well, it doesn't matter. I'll just hang on to this as long as I can. Trouble is, it's still going strong, as you can see. It's doing a job right now. Damn it. So, when the new MacBook Airs were announced, when the MacBook Pros came out, with that stupid touch bar thing, I was not impressed at all. And I thought, I'm never, ever, ever going to use that. So I don't really want to spend that kind of money on one. And my MacBook Air was still going strong, so I thought, well, I'll just stick with it till whenever. Then they announced new MacBook Airs and took me by surprise because I wasn't expecting a new MacBook Air. But I took the decision that this that we're looking at now, this MacBook Air you're looking at, is 6.5 years old, and it's a miracle it's still going, strong or otherwise. So I can't guarantee, it's 3 years out of AppleCare, and I can't guarantee that it would turn on tomorrow morning. And I thought, if I need to buy another laptop, any point within the next 18 months, I'll get exactly the same one that's available today. I'll pay either exactly the same price or a lot more, Brexit. Sorry to mention that. So I might as well buy it now. Cue the arrival of said sexy toy. Now, Graham's just made a point there. Didn't realise the MacBook Air was smaller than the original. Now, this one here is an 11-inch. And I specifically wanted the 11-inch. I did have the option of the bigger one. But I wanted the 11-inch because of the ratio. That screen is 16:9. Whereas every other one, like this one, is 16:10. Now, when I took it out of the box, I thought, oh, good grief, it's heavy. I thought it's the same weight as the old one. So this is the new one. And this is the old one. I'll put them side by side so you can see the difference front to back. One is fractionally bigger. Let's move that nearer. So it's a little bit bigger at the front edge. But the screen on this thing is 13 inches, whereas the other one wasn't. So let's get that. You'll see that as it goes in. It says opening with my Apple Watch. So it does have the fingerprint sensor, which is that tiny thing there to the right of the F12 key. So it's that one there. Up there. But because I've got an Apple Watch on and I've hooked that up, I actually don't really use it that much. It automatically just turns on with my watch. So putting them side by side, let's tilt them back so they're the same. That's the difference in the screen real estate. So considering the difference front to back is so tiny, the difference in the screen real estate is nothing short of amazing. So my other rationale for buying it now, and I must admit it is a lot better, and I'm very pleased that I went for the space grey. That's the difference in colour between the standard silver one and the space grey. But when you look at the screen, it does kind of match much better. So I was very happy when that arrived. I've never really been a fan of space grey. But you know, you're buying new kit and you don't want the colour the old one is, honestly. So that arrived. That was that one. Now, I needed with that a case. So I was so pleased with the other one that what I did was buy its big brother. So my MacBook Air fits into that case there, which again is a Pro case. And that was also £15. Now, I've got some links for these, which I'll put in the chat later as well. The trick with this one was it actually said when I purchased it for the Surface 2. And I thought, well, it's the right size. It now actually says on the page for the MacBook Air as well. But when I bought it, it didn't. Just also show you the difference in size with the touchpad. So that's the old touchpad, which was quite tiny. This one is much, much bigger. I would say it's much smoother as well. Keyboard's fractionally different, but not much. It seems to be that new modern keyboard, though, and I was prepared to hate it because I'd heard bad things about it. I actually love it. I think it's fantastic. So if you've got one of these, let us know. What do you think of the keyboard? What we got on here?
MacBites in need.
MacBites in need. What do we need?
Rival children.
more. Yes, send Kit.
Elaine in need.
Yes, just send Kit. Did I mention sending Kit?
And Dan might be
wow. Oh dear, a Windows laptop. Well, yeah, Windows, they're doable these days. No, they're doable these days. Nothing wrong with Windows 10, she said scarily. I use Windows 10 once a week for a specific job, and
It does the job.
It does the job. The thing that annoys me is the updates. But tonight I had to update this MacBook Air. It downloaded a 2 gig update, and then when it had finished, said there was a security update. And I thought, well, fair enough, 1.8 gig. So it took me at least an hour to get that thing workable. So no, I don't think they're any worse these days. Now, port-wise, what we had on the old one, that end, was I've got that in a MagSafe with an adapter. There's a USB and headphones there, and that tiny, tiny thing next to it there is the microphone. And at this side, we have the display out and a USB. Now, on this one, we have a headphone socket. They must have forgotten. I don't think they intended that was there. I think they just forgot. And at the other side, we've got 2 of those stupid USB-Cs. And I've got nothing that plugs in there. So I can't even plug a pen drive in at the moment. And the reason that's a problem is not all cables are equal. So the cable that came with this to charge it is this thing. So let's show you that. There we are. So 13 thingy plug does twang down if you want it twang down. And this does disconnect here. So that is USB-C.
How do you charge it when it's twanged down?
You don't. That's well, how can you travel with it like that without disemboweling something, which usually happens? So that was the charger for the iPad. And the problem with it is, because this USB-C here is USB-C and that is USB-C, this has to be plugged into the wall and this has to be plugged into the iPad. And it's about 3 foot long. And problem with that is, if I had it plugged in, I'd have to sit on the floor while it charged. So I thought, what I need...
Twang it.
You can twang it.
Can I twang it?
There you go. Are you happy now?
Yeah.
You've not had one of those before,
No.
have you? No, he's
Not
happy
seriously.
now. Bless. So the problem I had with it was I wanted something that I could charge it with and use. And I thought, why has the other end got USB-C? Why is this end USB-C? Can't I just have a standard one? Because, back to my magic desk, hang on to your hats, that is underneath my secondary monitor. Well, tertiary monitor. Okay, and that charges all my USB stuff. So that one there that you can see, that charges my watch and everything is plugged in there. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to charge it that way. So I went to Amazon in search of a cable. Yes, Kevin, I was on Amazon again. Can we play a drinking game? Every time I go to Amazon to buy something, you all have to take a drink. So what I got was this cable. Right, that has on it a USB-C. Where's the end gone? Oh, there it is. There's the end there. Standard USB-C on it. But the other end of that is a standard USB and it's plugged in there. Now, I looked for this. I did a search for USB-C and found it. It was on offer. So I'm looking at it thinking, do I want to spend money on this? Then I realised it was 5 of them in a packet for £8. So I thought it'd be rude not to, really. You notice, Kevin, that's one of my excuses, would be rude not to. So I bought them and it arrived and I thought, if you actually got the courage to plug this in, it might blow it sky high. So I contemplated it and then I thought, oh, just plug it in, woman. It's still under guarantee. So I did and it works fine. It charges brilliant.
You know what this reminds me of?
Go on.
You would never know.
Wouldn't I?
No. You'd never guess.
Probably not.
No.
Razor?
No.
Go on.
The flex off an iron.
No, I would have no idea what that was.
No.
It is. It's that kind of stuff. It's fabricy, this. It's a nylon one. That one's black and silver. Can't see the colour too well, but that one's black and silver, and they do it in a blue. But 5 of them in a packet means they're sort of less than £2 each. That was on a deal. It was $7.99. The actual price now is $8.99, but even so. One of them is 10 foot, 2 of them are 6 foot, 2 of them are 3 foot. Now, the thing to remember with that is when you're charging them, that 3 foot one is long enough for me. It goes from there, which is the other side of my desk. I've got another 10-port charger over there, all the way over here. So you can see that is actually long enough to charge the iPad and work with it. And also, the same cable charges that as well. I've left it going overnight and it's fully charged when I come back in the morning. So I'm not particularly concerned about the length of time it takes. It's not a fast charger. The longer the cable you plug in, the slower it charges. I think that's just the way it works. And if I could get one of these blocks that had on it USB-C, it would charge faster as well. But you're looking at a heck of an expense for that. And until I know for sure that the stuff is compatible, then I'm not venturing there. I'm keeping the cheap route. Because not everything is compatible with this. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, but not everything is compatible with it. When you look at the adapters that I'd need for RJ45s and HDMI, they all say they work with the 2015, 16 and 17 MacBook Pros and MacBook Airs, but nothing on this. So be very careful in the purchasing department at this stage if you're going to jump in. I'm not jumping in. I'm going to try cheap things until I actually see in the blurb that it works. And then I'll actually purchase it. But yes, these cables were fantastic. Let me reach them. There we are. There's the rest of them. I haven't even opened some of them. There's, I think that's the longest one. That'll be the 10-foot. And that's a 6-foot. That's a 6-foot. I did try that and it did charge. And there's the other one that matches the one that I've got. So they are very well made. They're very thick at the ends. They're certainly stronger than the Apple ones. And the key to me was having that end on it there, which means I can plug it into that there, which is my charger. Okay, so that was the new kit. I've done all the new kit now. There must be something else I've forgotten.
I don't think so. Is that not enough?
I'm sure I spent more money than that. Now, there's a conversation going on in there about whether you could switch to Windows and having too much Mac software. I completely agree. Windows is much improved when I look at it than it was. Situation I've got with it is things like Audio Hijack, and there's just nothing that's comparable. But I wouldn't be averse, having said I'd never do this on pain of death, I wouldn't be averse to building one again, which I did do many years ago. So I wouldn't be averse to it, because what I'd be after is one of those ultra gaming machine things. What?
Pete and Pete's cables.
Pete?
Pete. The guy at the computer shop round the corner.
Oh, God, yeah.
And his cables.
Yeah, we had a computer guy had opened a shop quite local, and they made PCs up. You could either go in and buy the bits yourself to make your own, or he would make them for you. Oh, my, what a mistake that was. You looked inside and it was just a disaster of cables.
Spaghetti.
So I wouldn't mind doing my own, but I'd be doing it from a perspective of putting on it the Windows version of Camtasia and doing batch processing with it. So I would have a specific job for it, which the Mac just doesn't do. Plus the fact we're all waiting to see what the Mac Pro brings. And it could be fabulous, but whether it's fabulous or not, it's going to be cripplingly expensive. So I'd seriously have to think about it. So that was the kit. Let me see what else I had. I'm sure I had little bits of kit. And I put that up there, didn't I, to share it with you, and now I can't find it. There we go. Did I have everything else? Cables, replacement cables, covers, cases.
I think we've covered everything.
Yeah. My only sadness was here with my iPad, and I had an app on it, and it's actually the app I'm using now. So I've got a phone in my hand, and I'm using that to point at all the stuff on here. And the app I'm using is called Haru Mirror. And it was a free app. There was an in-app purchase if you wanted it, but you didn't have to. And what it lets you do is what you can see now. You can use the camera as a mirror, and you don't get, because I'm using the front-facing one. I'm behind that. You could use it like that. And what you didn't have to worry about at all was all the camera stuff that appears over it, the button to take a picture and all the settings. And it's gone out of the store, which means whether I paid for it or not, I can't install it. It will not let me install it, not even from the purchase tab. So I'm not pleased about that. If I'd restored the iPad from another iPad, I'd be all right. But I don't think that's a valid answer, to be honest, because your iPad could die on you and you could need to reinstall. So I don't find that acceptable at all. But I think that was the only thing. I think everything else was pretty fine and dandy. What I've got installed on here is all my stuff. So I have actually got quite a lot on here. Let's get that up. I haven't configured everything. Let's see if I can hold that steady enough for you to see. But most of the stuff that I use on a regular basis is installed on here. 120 items. Let's just say On the iMac behind it, there's 400. So I haven't got everything on yet, but I've pretty much got the bare essentials to get on with life. And you know, all the stuff that when it's not there, you're convinced your Mac's broken, that stuff. And believe me, there was a lot of that, an absolute lot of that. And there may be some things on there I've not talked about on the show before. So if there's anything that you think, what's that? Or why are you using that? Then let me know. We can cover that in the normal show. But there you go.
This is not a normal show.
This is not a normal show. This is the eventless event.
Kevin wants to know how much it would cost to get a custom-built MacBites PC.
Oh, Kevin. For you, I'm sure we could do it at the bargain price of can we come and play in your snow? Well, I mentioned you earlier before you joined us, and I said that Kevin is in Virginia and Kevin has snow and I'm jealous. But then I've got kit and you're jealous. So what we need to do, Kevin, is move to a commune and share it all. But not in Barbados. Jane wanted to go to Barbados. And Jane would be with us tonight, people, but Jane's got visitors, which I consider to be very, very bad planning on Jane's part. But the Mini. Now, I did think about the Mini. What put me off was...
The bank balance wouldn't take it.
Yeah, the credit card was melting at this stage. It does look a capable machine. I think the issue for me would be I'd have to seriously think about monitors. Although I've seen, what's that thing called? The Luna. The Luna from AstroPad. Who's heard of that? It's a little sort of pen device thing that sticks in the... I'm wondering at which end it sticks in. I think it sticks in the Mini. And it will reflect your Mac screen to an iPad. So people are using a 12.9-inch iPad as a monitor for a headless Mac Mini, which I quite like the look of. I probably would. I said to Mike when they announced it, right, I'd have that. I'd have that to do the jobs, headless jobs like backing up cloud services. We've just moved everything to the cloud, haven't we? Mm. And I like to have a local backup of all of it that I don't have to think about. So what I'd want to do is have a Mini, stick an external drive on it, and then stick a sort of backup thing going on from the cloud services to this external drive. The price is astronomical, but really it's become the Pro. The Mac Mini has sort of become the Pro in my mind, because the Pro hasn't been updated for that long. It's like, well, who'd buy the bin anyway? So I can definitely see that I would go to it.
I was just about to say, Paul, the MacBites credit card is back in the freezer.
Yeah, he took it off me. It is actually in the freezer in ice, just in case I get frisky with it. So I've shut. See,
I could go and get it and prove to you that it's covered in ice, but it would melt and then should be...
I might buy something.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, it is. Honestly, it's in the freezer. Right. So sexy toy. So there we are. That was what we bought. I wouldn't be averse to a Mac Mini. No, I wouldn't. But what I think I'd do to save a little bit on it is probably go for a refurb in a couple of months. Me having enough new kit to play with right now, I would probably do that. I think I'd seriously think about how to deploy it. And the other thing is, of course, I think I'd probably wait until I saw what they came out with the Pro and actually have a look at it. Graham's quite right, because I can actually use my Apple Watch to pay for things. I'm getting a dirty look here. Should we show them? Give me that dirty look. Ooh, that's a dirty look. So I would be in the market for one. I do think they're very smart. I think they're a very capable machine. I'd actually wonder, I'd like to take one and take the RAM up as far as it can go and maybe put a bigger hard drive in, because it is still updatable, that one, and just see how it compares with an iMac. Because I can't really... My microphone's perfect. It's taken years, but I'm there. You probably can't hear the fans on my iMac, but they're going crazy. And it's not really doing much. It's not compressing video. It's just showing you round here.
Cheers, Kev. Take care.
Good night, Kev. So I'd like to see how capable a Mac Mini was, because if it starts the fans going, at least it's under the desk, whereas the iMac's on the desk and making a noise. So I would definitely buy one. Reason I've not gone for one yet is really, I think it's time with that to sit down and think, okay, where you're going for the next 2 to 3 years. And one of the things that we considered was we compress a lot of video. We do a lot of video training. And the Mac version of Camtasia doesn't do batch processing, but the Windows one does. The license you buy works on Mac and Windows. And I said to Mike, I think I'd like to do the batch processing on a Windows box. So I could see a future Windows box appearing.
I see a Windows box in your future.
So do I.
Cross my path with a credit card.
Yeah, get that credit card out of the freezer. But I still think a Mac Mini's got uses, because mind you, the PC could probably handle that. Oh dear, I'm talking myself out of a Mac Mini here. Hang on, let me get back on track. And into a PC, oh good grief. Have I been drinking?
Windows Bytes.
Windows Bytes, no, that would never do. No, I still like the Mac Mini. I can definitely see. I'd think about it as a replacement for the desktop, unless these iMacs get much better. Because the fact the fans are on, it concerns me when I'm recording a video that the noise I can hear is being picked up by the microphone. Now, as I've said, I'm very lucky at them. I'll show you the microphones. I actually have 2 here. There they are. It's set up as a double setup for redundancy. So if I'm recording a video and the main microphone doesn't work, I have got a backup. And that main backup, well, the backup microphone is attached to, can we get that cable out, Mike? This one. This goes into a rather elaborate, that's an XLR thing. That goes into a rather elaborate digital recorder when it's working. But I took the digital recorder out. So we have a heck of a setup, and it doesn't pick up the noise. We're very lucky. But I still don't think it does a machine any good whatsoever to be running as the fans are running on this right now. What I'll do is I'll try and get a recording of it when it's quiet and I'm on my own, and I'll play it in the next MacBites, and you should then be able to hear what the fans are like. But I mean, it's just not on. Yeah, that's the thing, Deborah. I want to rethink the entire system. I said to Mike, the iPad and the laptop. I had my first Mac laptop, which was my 17-inch MacBook Pro, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I had that for 6 years. I got it in the September of 2006, and I replaced it in the middle of 2012. And I've had this one longer than that. So I do try and think in terms of long term. And I said to Mike, the iPad 11-inch for me, it's now a piece of paper. There's the scale of it and the fact it's sort of at this iPad here, let's get this iPad turned on. This is the Face ID thing, so I need to lean over it. And yes, Face ID, I know, there I am, it's me. Right, that iPad there is the same size as that one there. That is an 11-inch MacBook Air, and that's an 11-inch iPad. So I feel that 11-inch is great for going out with it and working with it. So whereas I was in the market for possibly a Mini, I've made the decision that no, I'm going to stick with that 11-inch for portability. And this one will replace my MacBook Air, my old MacBook Air, for day-to-day jobs, with this one doing specific jobs like it is now, where actually, this is scary, the MacBook Air is coping better with this than the iMac. The fans are not on that MacBook Air. Which takes us to that question, so I'll read that question. Interested in upgrading from the current Mini to an iMac, but the fan noise concerns me. No, it didn't. It did not always do that. The model I had before this was a 2014 model, early 2014. And I replaced it 3 years later, so last year, so 2017. The one that I had 32 gig of RAM. Other than that, everything was spec'd up as far as it would go, apart from the hard drive. It had what's those things called? A hybrid thing. Oh, the one that's got a little bit, you know the one I mean? That one. It wasn't a total SSD. It was a hybrid drive. And it was great. I had no problems with that at all. The reason we upgraded was purely because I was out of AppleCare. And if I'd wait, you get down to the problem that I said before, that it breaks, and then I have to buy it, 2 months before they bring a new one out. So Mike's was a 21-inch, and we decided we'd both buy a Retina one. It was our first Retina iMac. And we got this one, which it's going to be like Rumbelows now as it goes into itself. But it's this one here, and it's got all these monitors hanging off it. And the first thing we did was buy 64 gig of RAM for it. So we actually binned what was in it, didn't we?
Yeah. I was going to say, I've got, as you've just said, I've got the 21-inch. How much memory did it have? Was it 16?
I think it was 16.
It was 16 gig of RAM, 21-inch iMac. Ran Windows on it using Fusion and never had any problems with the fans.
Yes, it was a Fusion drive.
That was a Fusion drive.
Yeah. So that was what I had, and it was great. And the only reason we upgraded was it was out of Apple Care and we wanted a Retina screen. So we got matching Macs. We took all the memory out that was in it because it was in we got the one with the least memory and then took the lot out, and we each bought 64 gig. So it's spec'd up as far as it would go. And no matter what we do with it, the fans go crazy all the time. So if you don't have a microphone that is optimized to within an inch of its life, like mine is, I would seriously consider not going for it. It's that bad. I mean, I said to Mike earlier, you do know I hate this iMac, don't you? And it's the only iMac I can ever say that about, that I just really don't like the fans coming on. When the fans come on, it's either I'm recording with Camtasia or ScreenFlow, I'm compressing video, or just watching a YouTube video. It seems to be video that sets it off. I thought at first it was mine, and I had a problem with it, and I would have to get onto Apple. But Mike's does exactly the same, so I think it's just the model. So if noise is important to you, I would seriously go into an Apple store. Don't use stuff like Safari, because unless you absolutely use Safari, try things like Chrome. Try watching a YouTube video and listen very carefully. Put your head next to it and see if they turn on, because they do for both of us, and it is an issue. It is an issue. I think if I was using a Blue Yeti still, which I do in the other room because that one's fine, but in here there's no way I could use a Blue Yeti because it's just too warm. It's too hot. We say a microphone's hot. It picks up everything, and there's no way I'd get away with it. There's no way I would get away with it. So think seriously and carefully. But no, I'm with you, Graham. My 2011 iMac, I had a 2011 iMac. That's behind me. And that one never ramps up, no matter what. It's sad that the newer one is, and I don't understand why. When it's exporting video, I don't mind. I expect it if it's exporting video, but not just watching a YouTube video. That's ridiculous. A 2016 iMac, and can't recall ever noticing the fans. You'd notice these, Daniel. So I wish I could actually let you hear it, but it's just not going to pick it up, is it? Not even if I move the microphone, is it going to pick it up? What I'll do is I'll be recording video soon, and I'll record some, so you know. Yes, it was the Fusion drive.
I should have thought.
Yeah, because it's Fusion, isn't it? Fusion. But is that spelled different? No, it's not. It's VMware Fusion you're thinking of. Yeah, I would be very, very careful with it. Do look into that carefully first. But we're going to put a show out, making mad promises here. Brace yourselves, sooner rather than later. All we need to do is
record it.
Record it, yes. Which we'll endeavour to do. You see, if it's live, it happens. But when we do, I'll make sure that I put that in. So I will add that to the show notes straight away and let you know that we're going to do that. Is it the curved back? Less room for air? It could be. What I can do is show you the back of mine. There's lots of space there. Right, I'm getting up now so you can see over the top of it. Mind the dust. Don't worry about the dust. There's my lamp. And there's the back of it. So there's lots of space there. So it shouldn't really be going mad. That is a 12 South backpack. If you're wondering what those white things are, they're 2 erasers. And the logic is when I put a hard drive on it, I want air underneath it. So I leave those 2 erasers sitting there and put it on top. But you can see there, yes, there's lots of cables, but there's also lots and lots of air around it. It's backed onto an internal wall. So I don't think the fan should be coming on to that degree. So you've now seen, let's talk about behind the scenes of MacBites. You've seen behind the scenes of the main MacBites machine there. It could be the back. It could be. To be honest though, Graham, the last one I had the curved back. The last one was the one, I'm sure everybody remembers this, it was the Apple Care repair from hell, I think. Oh no, it didn't even get to Apple Care, did it? My hard drive went. The Fusion drive that was in it just completely died one day. It just wouldn't turn on. And I took it out and I used that shelf that you've just seen at the back to sit a drive on. And I'm frantically looking around because I have said drive here. There we go. That's actually upside down, but the drive is in there, honestly. That's a little case that's got the drive in. This is a new case, actually. You'll notice it's USB-C. This was also an offer, half price. Would have been rude not to. Just bought something from Amazon. Drink. So that's got a 500 gig hard drive in it. And that's what powers this Mac that died. That sits on the shelf and it runs from that. And the fans don't come on that at all. Not that they did before. So I'm actually quite disappointed with this Mac. And the only issue I have with it is the fans coming on. I don't like the fan noise. So, right. So we've looked at all the kit, haven't we? There was a couple of things that I thought were funny this week. I want to know if you guys are up for a new pair of headphones. So what I'm going to do here is get rid of this. So I'm going to put that on the other screen, out of the way. Come in, away you go. Oh, now what are you doing? I need to get you out of full screen and get you off over here. Who's in the market for some new headphones? And if you are, would you buy these? So let's bring this back onto the screen, which means I can put that down. I spotted these this week and I wondered who on earth would buy them. You need to tell me, would you buy them? This isn't a joke as far as I can tell. They are Mickey Mouse headphones. Yes.
And the £280.
And the 280 quid. Let me get you a bigger picture. There you go. Who's in the market for those? I looked at it and thought, you've got to be kidding me. Yes, I can see for children, but who pays £280 for a pair of headphones for kids? Yeah, not so much, I don't think. They are Bluetooth, I'll grant you. I've got some, what they're called, replacement AirPods. There we go. The poor man's AirPods. Let me get this over there and you can see what I use for headphones. But tell me in the chat what you use for headphones. There we go. The poor man's AirPods. Let's move that out of the way. They're a little bit bigger, apparently, but there they are. And I use those. I also have Bluetooth headphones. So there's some Bluetooth headphones. They're white. All my others are black. But they do look very similar, don't they? The difference was they were 15 quid from Aldi. Does Aldi count for a drink?
It does.
Yes, drink. I bought something. 15 quid from Aldi. There's no way I am parting with that kind of cash for those. Who would buy them? Let me know. Would you buy those? I did think it was April the 1st, but apparently it's not. So that was new this week as well. Now, we promised that we'd talk about Evernote. Who uses Evernote? Bluetooth ones. Yes,
I gave up on it before it gave up on me.
I'm just replying to this comment, which is wanting some Bluetooth ones. I had enough of fighting with cables. So have I. But I wanted decent quality ones as well. So I bought a cabled pair. Let me see if I can find the device. Where's that device that went in the... Oh, I probably can't find it. It was in the drawer, but where is it? I think I put it in the bag to take out when we did that presentation. What I did was I got a decent pair of headphones and I then hung off them a Bluetooth transmitter. I can't find my Bluetooth transmitter. It's not where it should be. I will find my Bluetooth transmitter and show you what it looks like. But what I did was the headphones I got, I'll show them to you. They are very good. They were only 20 quid. Reduced. They were from Amazon. Drink! Let me get them on the desk and show you what I did with them.
They're like mine.
Yes, because I got you a pair as well. We spent a fortune on headphones. and they broke. So we bought these, and these are what I call editing headphones. So they're very thick here. They don't leak sound, and you'll notice that they've got 2 ports. This one here is the big one. So that's what is that? What size? 3.5 is this one. And I think that's is it?
Graham will know.
1/4 inch. Graham will know. Yeah. One of those.
Graham does audio.
And what I do with them, I've got a cable, which is this red one here that I've just unplugged that I now can't find. No, that's floppy disks, dear. That one there. Graham will know. Yeah. Right, that one. And that plugs into there, and that's how I actually use them. But you can take that out, and this one over here is standard. So that's a standard 3.5, or is it? Yeah, 3.5 mil there. And what I do is I hang a Bluetooth receiver off it, and I hook that up. So that then becomes, those headphones become independent. And I can then walk...
1/4 inch.
1/4 inch, thank you, Graham. I can then walk around with them, and they become Bluetooth. Now, you can get these in Bluetooth, but I figured I wanted the benefit of both, and that's what I do with them. They're called One Direction. No, not One Direction. No, I would have known that. They're called One something. I'll find the link, and I'll give you the link. But these are incredibly good headphones for the money. Very good on up here. Oh, hang on, there we go. It says on there. There you go. One Audio. So look that up on Amazon, and you'll find these headphones.
Drink.
On Amazon, drink.
Drink.
Bought shares in Amazon.
Drink.
No, I have to buy for you to drink. But there is a Bluetooth one, or you can get that one, which gives you much more flexibility. So I've got the benefit of it not being Bluetooth. Now, the reason that's important for me is if I use this with Bluetooth and I hook it up to the iMac with Bluetooth, the iMac won't record the audio, which I need if I'm training. So having this attached via a cable gives me flexibility. So there you go. Quick look at the headphones. Right, let me get this off here and we'll get back to talking about Evernote. Right, Evernote's having problems. Right, let's get that out of the way. And I've got a couple of links here. Who's aware of Evernote having problems? Let's have a look at some of the things that people are saying about Evernote and seeing why it's a problem. This was one. A death spiral. Not good. They're not quite dead, but it's not good. They've also just taken on, I've got another link there as well. If you want these links, I can send them out after. So they've just appointed somebody else, but basically they're having problems. So somebody's just taken over the board and etc, etc. But people are at that point where they're saying, don't like the fact that there's lots of problems here. So Graham's just made a very interesting point, which is he used Evernote, but he's transitioning to DevonThink. DevonThink's amazing. I use DevonThink on the desktop and iOS. Love it. Absolutely love it. It could be better, but I love it. They are working on a new one, thank heavens, because the mobile side, I think, lets it down, but it works well enough. But the great thing with DevonThink is, even if you don't want to fully transition from Evernote, it takes with it, you can point DevonThink to Evernote and back up Evernote. So you can have an offline copy. You can take all of your data away from Evernote, and it's brilliant. It takes everything with it. I tried it with my account, which has got 10,000 notes in it, and it took its time, probably took about an hour, but I got a perfect copy of what was up there in Evernote. So DevonThink's a great alternative. Let's have a look back here. Paul uses Evernote as well. Gave up on Evernote a couple of years ago. Yeah, I didn't like what they did in terms of collaboration and stuff. We found it very clunky to work with. So we've tried everything. And the last place we were was OneNote. Now, Kevin's gone, but Kevin loved OneNote. And I love OneNote. But OneNote synchronises when it feels like it.
I'd like to know what Deborah's using as well.
Yes, what do you use, Deborah?
Don't put a comment like that and not tell us.
Apple products as well reduced in price on the Black Friday. Not so much these days, Charles. They used to be 10% off across the board, and Black Friday was fabulous. It was a great day to buy. Not so much. You'll find odd offers now, But what it'll be is older kit and only specific kit. So you might get sort of £10 off a pair of headphones, but it will not be across the board. So there'll be some deals. They probably won't be the best ones from Apple, but if you're in the States, Best Buy usually do a few deals. I know Costco in the UK have got a couple of deals, but no, not like it used to. Not like it used to be. Graham. His belt and braces is Graham, running them alongside each other. I've used DevonThink for 12 years and it's rock solid. Love it. Absolutely love it. But of course, Evernote has the benefit of this clipper system. That's what's great. So I found this app. This is how, so let's start the story. I found this app and I found a lot of people were talking about it. And I thought, well, I'll go now, I'll have a look at it. And it's called Notion. Who's heard of Notion? It's Notion.so. And I had a look at it, and my first thought was, what on earth is this doing? And I couldn't fathom it. Could not fathom it. Untech people. Definitely. Yep, you've done the same as us. DevonThink, OneNote. Dropbox Paper. Now, Dropbox Paper we did look at, didn't we? But we decided against it. It was too fragmented for us. We like things together in sort of projects. Well, maybe you'd be interested in this then. We're finding it very useful. I've used it in anger for maybe 2 weeks. And I deliberately this week decided, hold back. And I found myself thinking, I've got to get this in Notion. I've got to get this in Notion. And that to me is indication of when something's really, really good. So what I'm going to do is talk you through the beginning of it, and then I'm going to make something specific. It is not a direct replacement for Evernote, in my opinion. It can do notes, it can do organisation, it can do sharing. It's amazing, but it's not Evernote. But it is free. You can try it for free. So first thing I'm going to do is put in a link, which is my referral link, which means if you use it, I get $5, which is good. But you get 10, which I find totally unfair, but never mind. You will get 10. So I'll put this link in there. And if you sign up with that link, we'll all be happy. Oh, it won't do that. It won't let me do it. Can you get that link, Mike, and do something with it? Get that link out. Yes, weave some magic and make that work. I don't know why it's not working. It could be because it knows it's a referral link, but make it work because do I have to promote you or something? Just do what you need to do, Mike, to make that link work. Right, but what this system is, let me get this up. So I'm going to use a browser I'm not logged into anywhere else, which was this one. Right, now what I'm doing here is oh no, I wasn't, was I? No, I didn't. I had it in Chrome Canary. There we go. Right, had it in Chrome. So this is what you see. There's my referral link at the top, and that says Elaine Giles has invited you to Notion. Now, what is Notion? Well, it's, as it says, an all-in-one workspace. I describe it as like a kit, like a Meccano kit. And although you can use it out of the box, it's much better if you've got a plan to work to. Maybe you're trying to replace a system in something else, or maybe you've just got an idea to do something new, which was what we did with it. Well, Mike was antagonistic. He wasn't interested. He's always antagonistic, and he's just admitted that. But I said to him, do you know what? I'm pretty confident we could move our meal planning. And he was pretty sceptical. Our meal planning's been in Evernote, and it's been in OneNote as a table. And it's driven us mad on a regular basis. So I said, let's just give it a go. He fell in love within 5 minutes. So that's what I thought I'd show you. Yes. Okay, we don't need your singing, Mike. Shut up. Okay, so this is what you'd get if you go in, and I'm going to sign up from scratch and build it from scratch. So I'm going to sign up there, get some credit. I'm going to continue with email, and I'm going to put in the MacBites UK email address. Right. Not having signed up with that. No, it won't let me post that. We can't get the link to you.
It's in the first email.
It's in the first email. There you go. If you got the invitation, right now, if you're with us live. What I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this. This is insane, but I'll do it anyway. I'll edit the video live, and I'll try and put that. Do I want to edit the video? What do I want to? I want to edit the thing underneath. I want to edit the text underneath. Let me see if I can edit it live and paste the link in for you. And that way we can all do this together. Isn't this a fabulous way to spend a Friday night? Right, I shall put that in there. There we go. So the link is in there. Hopefully that will work. So let me know if you can see that underneath the video. You might have to refresh. Don't know. But if you can use it later, not a problem. You can use it whenever. So let's go back and I'll make sure that that's there and I can see the chat and then we're all good to go again. Right, okay, so this is where we are. I use the Clipper as well, and the Clipper is one of the most fantastic things of Evernote. This thing does not have a Clipper, but they're building one. So I've put in my email address, and I'm going to continue with email. At which point it's going to say you need a login code, and that login code is going to come to you via email. So I'm hoping as I switch screens that I have got that it does come through to me, because if it doesn't, this is not going to be a great demo. Right, I've now got my login code. So it sends you an email. There's no such thing as a password with this. You either use Google or you get a temporary login code. So I'll show you that temporary login code there. And then all I need to do is continue with the login code. Right, at this point it talks about, yes, whatever, I've got to agree to that. And then it wants information about me. So this is MacBites. This is going to be fun, isn't it? And how would you describe MacBites? We're indescribable, so I'll say other. Oh, they want a roll. Let's put podcast. There we go. And how will you use it? I'm going to say docs and knowledge base. The reason I'm going to do that will become clear. And we're a small team. There's only 4 of us, and that includes the series. And then just next. Right, now it wants a workspace name, so I'm going to put MacBites demo. And in the URL there, I'm going to put exactly the same. So MacBites demo, which it will make lowercase. And that's all I need to do to create my workspace. So at this stage, we're just signing up and making a workspace. We're not putting anything in there yet. Now, this is the first time we get the opportunity to import stuff. So if you're bringing things from everywhere else, you can bring in text and Markdown and Google Docs and Dropbox paper, Deborah. Just throw that in there, like a hand grenade. You can bring anything in. Now, I'm not going to do that, but there's Evernote down in the bottom left. So I'm going to skip that. I'm just going to start completely from scratch here. Now, at this point, you can download the applications. There's applications for iOS and Android and also Mac and Windows. I've tried them all. They're all pretty good, but I'm going to use this in a browser. But I am going to say, let's download it for Mac, and it just downloads down there in your browser. Okay, and done. So now I've got my account. I'm going to go into it, and it says we've added some templates. Thank you very much for that. We'll have a look at them shortly. So what I'm going to do is have a look in here so you can see this. There's my credit. Now that's just to show you. You should have got 10. I'm thinking this thing is insane when it comes to this. So I won't have got my $5 for that because you just got 5 for signing in on the web. No idea what's going on with that. But it has worked. So you'd get 10 if you use my link. But if you use my link, make sure that you close the browser down and clear the cookies and use it from scratch. And that way you'll get your $10. Not too sure what's going on there, Paul. Mike, can you... Oh, no, I know what I'll do. I'll have a look in my email and see if I got an email. If I didn't, then that's not working today, and I don't know why. Right. I don't have there anything that says that you've signed up using my link, which means you won't get... I don't know what's wrong with that. That should be working. I will get onto them because that's not the first time that's happened, and it's very annoying. But let's get back over here. Let's come out of there. Right. This is what you're looking at. Now, this can be very off-putting. Because you're looking at it, you think this isn't Evernote. Evernote's nice and easy and helpful. And this isn't. Right, let me show you what you've got. You have at the top your workspace. So if I click that, it's saying I've got a workspace. It's a free plan with 1 member. You can create other workspaces. You can also make it dark if you want. So if you want a nice dark mode. Then you can use the global find, you can get your updates, you can add members, and then you've got the workspaces. So a workspace is a shared area if you add people to it. The private area is stuff that's private to you, and that's where it's taken us to start with. It's given us a head start by adding some notes. It's got notes and drafts, and it's got getting started. And it says this is a private page for you to play around with. And this would be the equivalent of a note in Evernote. But why this is amazing is the items that you can put on the page aren't just text. There's lots of things that you can add. So this one here is a block of text. That bit that says give these things a try is a block of text. That's a to-do item. This one's an image, obviously. But you can create pages and all kinds of things. It can be really off-putting at the start. You can say, oh, I'm overwhelmed. And this was where Mike was. And I must admit, it was where I was. I was like, I don't see how this is going to work. How is this different? It's not Evernote. I can't put notes in. It works in blocks. Everything is a block. A page is a block. A to-do item is a block. And you can have 1,000 blocks for free. I filled that up fairly quickly, but I instinctively fell in love and transferred everything. So that was why I did. Now, I'm going to show you the meal planning thing because we're in love with that, aren't we? We are totally in love with that. But before I do that, I'm just going to show you doing something really basic that I've done, which was on the private side, I wanted to add a page. So here's my untitled page. And I wanted this to be my getting things done system. So my GTD system. You can use a template and they're very, very good, or you can build your own. So I'm going to say, make me a default page. Now it's picked that icon, no idea why. I'd prefer something else, maybe like a tick. So I'm going to filter those and hopefully I can find a tick there. There's a tick, that'll do. I'll put that in there. And if I wanted to, I can add a cover to it as well. But this is my GTD system. Now, at this point, what do I want in my GTD system? Let's say I'm just going to try and manage myself with this for a week, starting on Monday. How far wrong can I go? Right, well, the first thing is I want a page for Monday. So I use the / and these are the block types that you can have. It could be a page, a to-do, a header, a bulleted list, all kinds of stuff. These are amazing. I want a page. Now you might think, what are you doing, woman? What are you doing? Well, I'm just going to make a page and it takes me to the make a page. And this one is Monday. And I'm going to make it an empty page. I'll put in there things to do on Monday. But that's not a to-do, is it? But I can click on there and turn it into a to-do item. And now it is. But at this point, you've lost track with where you were because this is a page and the other one was a page. So how do you navigate between them? Well, there's breadcrumbs at the top. GTD system. Monday. So you can go backwards with that and you can go down with that. You can also use the sidebar. There is Monday. So going back to my GTD system and in here, moving down to here, I want another page. So I put the / type P, press enter, another page. Guess what? Tuesday. Empty page. When I go back to my GTD system page, now I have Tuesday and I carry on doing that. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and so forth. And it's that simple to create that. So let's say on Tuesday, what have I got on Tuesday, Mike? I don't think I've got anything on Tuesday. Oh, I'll put a free day. This won't be true. I could go shopping on Amazon, drink. So what I've done with that is selected and I'm going into the text. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going to format it. I'm going into there and I'm going to change the colour of that to red because it's fabulous. It's a free day. So I can add elements like this to it. Now, the power of this is not particularly adding things like to-dos because that's really basic. It's the other things that you can add to it. But I'm showing you this just to show you how basic it can be. Now, let's say on Tuesday, this free day, never mind free day, woman, you need to write a blog post. Okay, I will add a page. In fact, can I do it straight from there? No, I can't. I'm going to add a page to it. Takes me to my make a new page, but this time I'm actually going to look at what it says. There's databases. Let's not worry about that yet. Confusing. Ignore it. I could import something, an empty page. A default page, difference between these is icons. or I could use a template. This looks helpful. So I'll click on template and it shows me all the kind of templates I can use. Do not freak out that these look complicated. Just ignore them. It's a blog post I want, and blog post is one of the templates. There's also a lot of others, and they can be as complicated as you like, but I just want to write a blog post. So I'm going to click on blog post. And there is my page. Do you want to use that? Well, I'm happy with the pencil icon. That's not bad either. That would work for my food blog, wouldn't it? So I'm just going to click use this template. And it adds me a page, and there it is. And that's the kind of thing that you can just type in yourself. All of these are just a block of text, each one of which is a block within Notion. Very, 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 very simple. Very simple. So I have that there. Now, I don't particularly like the fact that that is that font. So up here, you have options. Serif font, good for publishing. That it might be. I don't like it. So I can change that back to default. Or I can go for mono. Oh, that's hideous. So I'll leave it set to default. And then what I would do in there is delete their content and put my own in. But you can see how you can write up a very nice blog post with images that are spaced out, with comments in it and all kinds of things in there. Very, very simple. Now, where did it put that? I added a page, but where did it put it? And as Deborah says, it's overwhelming. It's confusing. But it doesn't have to be. Go back to the breadcrumbs and have a look. You were going to do it on Tuesday. So when Tuesday comes round, there's the blog post. Just click it and you're there. And you can use the breadcrumbs to go backwards and forwards. That's how you build it up. The rest of it is similar to Evernote if you think about it. You have groups over here. You can nest things in here. So if you think of the top level as being a stack and within them notebooks, if you want to think of it that way, you can do that. And as you open it out, the elements that are in there are all contained down and down and down the stacking order. But I promised a meal plan because this was what rocked our world. So at the top level, I'm going to add a page, which is household. Yeah, we actually run the house, believe it or not. And I'll make it a default page. Don't particularly want a plane looking like it's falling out of the sky. So let me put home. That should give me a house somewhere, shouldn't it? There we go. Oh, isn't that sweet? And I can, if I want, add a cover to it. So it's just going to randomly pick one. Fair enough. That'll do for me. And in here, I want our meal planning. So first thing I need to do is add a page. And in here, this is going to be meal planning. Now, this time, I need to look at these databases. What does a meal plan look like? Well, ours looked like a table. And we had it in Evernote. We had it in OneNote. It was hideous. The columns resized, both vertically and horizontal. It was horrible. Can't help thinking that a board would be nice. 1 column per day. And look at that. There's a Kanban board system. Now, this is the kind of thing that sets this apart from Evernote. Because Evernote couldn't do this. The best you'd do is a table. But this is going to be amazing. So I'll make it with a board. And there is a board. It has 3 cards on it and columns. So who's familiar with Kanbans? If you've ever used a Kanban, let me know in the chat. Right, so you can move these cards about. And you can change the status and all kinds of things with them. But on a default view, that's what it looks like. So I'm going to go into card number 1 and I'm going to change that to breakfast. Do we have a full English?
We shall.
Oh, in my dreams. Right, a full English. Now, at this point, I want to say who is having that, right?
Me.
No, well, you would be, but you're not in there. The only one who's in there at the moment is MacBites.
Mac.
So Mac's having that at the moment. But you can share these workspaces and you can add yourself, other people, and then you can say who's actually having this. Now, that's great. I know that's a full English because it says full English and it means breakfast. But you can add properties to the card. So imagine having some index cards and you want to different colour code them maybe for different meals. All right. So I'm going to add a property and I'm going to put meal next to it. What type of meal is it? Now, I could leave it at text and actually type it in. Or I could make it something that I select where I choose from a list. That's what I'll do. At the moment, there's no options, but this one is breakfast. So I'm going to put in breakfast, and it says create breakfast. Perfect. That's what I'll do. There's breakfast. I can also edit the content for this. I can put in there the full recipe if I want. I can put in the ingredients, whatever I wanted to do in there. I won't blow your mind. But if I do that, you can put in to-do lists, headers. You can even embed a board in a board. Don't go there, but you could if you wanted. Okay, so there's my full English. That's my first card. There it is. For my second one, we'll have lunch. We'll have a nice healthy salad for lunch. The meal there is lunch. So do you want to create lunch? Yes, I do. Guess what? MacBites is eating that again. And I probably don't want status, but I can change these properties. I can change them to anything. So there's lunch for me. And I've got card 3 as well. Now for that one, let's have, what should we have for that?
Steak and chips.
Oh, I do like your idea here. Steak and chips. Trust me, we don't eat like this normally. Shall we make that dinner? So we have one for each. We've got dinner. There we go. And that's assigned to MacBites as well. Lucky MacBites getting all the food this week. Now that's okay for creating the cards here. Right. But it says that...
Paul's given us a price for steak and chips.
We're coming. We're on our way. We're on our way. Right, now, I need to put this on the day I'm having it.
Oh, for the full English.
$4.95 for a full English is fabulous.
Yeah.
I am on my way.
Yeah.
Right. I need to allocate it to a day. And I can't do that if these columns are saying not started, in progress and completed. So what I'll do is I shall go in there and it selects it.
Cheers, Dan. Thanks for coming.
Good night, Dan. And I'm going to put Monday. That's what's happening on Monday. And this one's going to be Tuesday. Now, at this point, am I doing that right? This is where you've got to think. And that's what we did. But this is so powerful. It's going to blow Deborah's socks off. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to put 01 Monday. Our week starts on Monday. So Tuesday's 02. Y will become clear down the line. So what I'll do now is just whip through these and put in the other days. So I'm going to add a new group, and that's 04 Thursday. And carry on doing that until I've got that. I don't want to do that. I want that.
We should leave it to Friday, because after all that food...
We're not going to be able to eat at the weekend.
Eat, no.
That'll do. We'll have 5 days then, and I've got an extra card in here, so we'll put that there. So, shall we have another? What do we
full
like?
English.
No. We don't. We've got full English. We need something. What do we really, really like?
Ice cream.
Chunky chicken. Chunky chicken. Mike does a mean chunky chicken. There you go. That's not breakfast. That would be dinner. So I'll put that in. And Matt Bites is eating that again. Right. So we've got these meals. Now, what we need to do now. I can see the cards and I can allocate them. So I'm going to add my breakfast to Monday. And I'll add steak and chips to Tuesday. And I'll add the salad to Wednesday. Fantastic so far. What I can't see at the moment, though, is what meals they are. Can't see that. But if I go into this, now I'm trying to frantically remember how I do this. I think I did it from back here, didn't I? I go into, wasn't it edit properties? I'm looking for the board thing, is what I'm looking for. Where I can tick them. Here we go. Card preview. What do you want on the card preview? And it's all very well having who it's assigned to. I need to know what meal it is, so I can see which is breakfast, which is lunch, which is dinner. Right, so I'm putting that in there. I can see it now. Fantastic. That looks great. Then all I need to do is finish it. So let's say I'm going to be incredibly healthy and have full English every day. I'm holding the Option key down and dragging, and that duplicates it. It does say copy of full English, which I'll have to go in and edit, but it's a good way to duplicate it. So I would have to go in here and take that out to get rid of it. But it's quite simple to do. And let's put that for breakfast there. Okay. Now, what we've done with this, I've taken the full away. What we've done with this is we've used the bottom bit, so say chunky chicken. We've put recipes at the bottom here. Now, I'll get that up and show you from my board. But that's what you would do with that. So we've got a dinner, we've got a lunch. Where's the other lunch? There's the salad for lunch. So let's have that steak and chips twice. Let's have the chunky chicken twice. And basically what we've built up there is a week's worth of food. So what should we have on Friday night? Oh, should we have a Chinese?
All right.
Let's have a Chinese. Oh, I'm spelling that wrong,
We
aren't
didn't
I?
have one tonight, though.
Oh, I'm spelling Chinese wrong. Am I spelling Chinese?
Like
That's
that.
better. That's better, right. Because I love Chinese. There's a Chinese. And should I have a salad for lunch? I'll put in salad. Lucky me. Now, you see what happened with that one. When I create it from new, it's not allocated to anybody and it doesn't have a meal. But if I go into it, I can assign it to a person and I can pick the type of meal it is. So that one would be lunch. Really quick to create something like this. The true power of it, though, lies in the fact that I can now take that information and use it in a different way. So I know what I'm having. I'm having lots of full Englishes. I think I should have something else, one day for breakfast, like poached eggs. Do I ever eat poached eggs for breakfast? Do you know it has actually been known that I've had poached eggs for breakfast, but it doesn't end well because I don't cook them very well. So there's a poached eggs one. Now, it's a Kanban board, but you're not stuck with it being a Kanban board. And what I mean by that is you can add a view. And as I hover over that, it says add a view that lets you see the same database in multiple ways. Sounds interesting. If I go there and I click add a view, you can choose the type of view: a table view, a board view, a calendar view, a list view, a gallery view. Table might be quite handy. So I'm going to put there, I think I had it, I think I called it in the real one, table by day. Right, and create. And it pivots it around. And this was why I needed to put 01 Monday, because that's just a mess. That's not good. I need this here to be sorted so I can sort ascending. So I get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. Now, at this point over here, it's showing dinner and breakfast, and that's wrong as well. So I can add a sort to that. So I can sort by meal. We did it ascending and it worked, but I don't know why. But it worked, so we left it alone. So I've created a new view, table by day. And that's taken that information and pivoted it round into a table. But you can still get to exactly the same point. So one of these English, I put something on, didn't I? Can't remember which one it was, but I can go into it where it can say open. And there you go, ingredients and recipe. That was lucky. Pick the right one. So you get to exactly the same place. It's just a totally different view. So to see, I could also, if this was assigned to different people, filter out. So Mike could filter just what he's eating this week. You can also then go back. So you see, you've got two views. It had also saved the board view. So I can flick between those views and view it Monday to Friday, or I can view it by meal. I can sort it, I can filter it, but ultimately, each one of these cards is just a page inside Notion. So we absolutely fell in love with that, didn't we?
We did.
We tried it in Evernote. We tried it in OneNote. It was horrific. I'm actually trying to think, Mike, what we did. What other fields did we put on it? Let me get the real McCoy. The real McCoy.
That was it.
I've had a very exciting week, actually, haven't I? Let's show them this one. I've had a very, very exciting week. I'm going to bring my real board on here. My real board. So let's just fold that up and bring my real board into view and get that full screen. I'll fold that up so we can see as much. No, that's not what I want. That's what I want. Right, I want to get rid of this. There is a way. I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. Let's fold that up. There we go. So that was our week. You can see boiled egg and spinach for me every day. Yes. But hey, I lost weight. So that's what we did with it. You can see Mike had porridge, but he was on his own. I didn't bother with that. But we did have, didn't we put one in here, Mike, for tomorrow with a recipe?
We did.
We're having a new one tomorrow. We're having poached eggs with spinach. So I'll show you that one. In the assign, we're both having it. So Mike and I are having it. It's assigned to Saturday, and the meal type is dinner. And then underneath, this is where it came from. This is the recipe. It promises me it's only going to take 15 minutes. And I think, yeah, I can go to the recipe. If I open that up, it will actually load it into a browser and you can actually see where that came from, which is there. And there was a picky, I think, which I thought looked quite nice. But now I'm looking at it, I'm wondering, it looks like somebody's eaten it already. But never mind. Never mind. Could well end up to be chunky chicken, couldn't it? But this is our genuine board. So you can see what we've eaten this week and what we're planning on eating. Lucky me, chicken salad tomorrow. And then we've got portobello mushrooms and then asparagus and eggs. It is very similar to Airtable. But the fact that it can do so much else as well, whereas Airtable is that's more data. But if I want to write the blog post, Airtable's probably not the right place. I think this is very, very, very exciting in terms of what it can do. I'm going all in with it. There you go. I am. I'm not intending to transfer 10,000 items from Evernote into it because those things were like captures from web pages and stuff, and they were a point in time and I'd use them for reference. But I'm doing what Graham did, which is I'm taking them into DevonThink and I'm using them from there. DevonThink's iOS client lets me download on demand if you get the in-app purchase. So it's very lightweight on iOS and you can just download what you want, the information that you want. But you can have access to all your information and download it on demand. So that will see Evernote out of the equation as far as I'm concerned. OneNote we have used. We both love OneNote, but I find it very, very annoying in terms of synchronizing. It does synchronize when it feels like it, which isn't often in my experience. But when it works, it's fantastic. But it's not as good as this in terms of what you can do with the data. I just love what you can do with the data with it. I absolutely love it. Now, that was just weekly menu planning, which is something we've done for 2 years. I'd say it made a big difference when we did it. Otherwise, we just like what we got. Oh, same as last night, that'll do. It has... I got my Apple Watch and I started on a fitness kick, and that's when the weekly meal planning came into it. And we do that every week. Just the fact that you've got it in columns and you can pivot it and stuff like that. One thing we're thinking of adding to this is putting next to it, these boiled eggs and spinach things we actually get from Aldi. It comes in a little tub. So Mike will be going out and he'll be buying 5 of those tomorrow. So I could put in one of these items here, I could actually add a property. Now I'm doing this and I'm doing it live, which would be shopping. And what I could do with that is just put next to it what it is. So boiled eggs and spinach. He would then know, and I can even put next to it Aldi. It was Aldi, wasn't it? Not Lidl. It was Aldi. When you then pivot that, there'd be a shopping column and it would create a shopping list for you. So I would put in other things like this one. It said a tin of tomatoes. I'm not buying a tin of tomatoes. So we need tomatoes, don't we? So tomato, pack of, wasn't it? Pack of tomatoes. Pack of tomato. What else was in it?
Eggs.
Oh, yeah, more eggs. More eggs. And then that would come through and that would be your shopping list. So we've not, this was literally, we threw this together in about 10 minutes, didn't we? And Mike was just, oh my word. So we haven't taken it as far as we could actually go, but we're intending to. So when we think about a shopping list, you'd have to think carefully about what to actually put in there. And I don't think it'd be 1,000,000% precise, but you can definitely do it and it would at least give you a head start. So for instance, this fish and mixed veg here, it would be, wouldn't it? Fish and then packet of veg, packet of veg, pre-prepared veg. That would then just go through to the shopping list. So that's what we're doing with it. I'm trying to think about other stuff I'm doing with it. But what I thought I'd do, if this is interesting to you, and why wouldn't it be? It's amazing. I could do a full session on it, or I could. You tell me what you'd like to do with it, and I'll have a think and see how that would be best deployed, and I can do that in the demo. So we thought we'd include it tonight as this first after hours, just so you've learned something as well, not just looking at the kit and drooling over the kit. Although there's nothing wrong with drooling over the kit, is there? Obviously, who wouldn't want to drool over the kit? But we thought we'd throw it in because we were both so impressed with the weekly meal planning stuff. Airtable's good for what it does. Evernote's good for what it does. This is fantastic for what it does. You might just have to think in terms of a Meccano set and making it build up what you want. But I pretty much guarantee you would be able to do that, whatever it is. So I've got a load of links for the research I've been doing on it. There's a fabulous Facebook group. There's a free PDF that you can download as well. And it really just gets you on the right track with Notion. I'll definitely be using this moving forward. And I won't say it got a thumbs up from Mike, but he actually signed up and started using it. Which for Mike to do that quickly is quite amazing. He's usually a long burn, aren't you? I'm getting that look again. I'm getting an evil look. Right, so that was a very quick look at Notion. Don't know why the referral link isn't working. It flaming well should be. But I don't know. It should definitely be working. But what we'll do is we'll send out an email after this saying what a fabulous time we had. And all the people who missed it, we're not going to put this out in the feed as a proper show because it's a definite after hours. But who's enjoyed it? Who thinks what we covered was about right? Do you want more, less? Do you want more chat? Do you want to see behind the scenes at MacBites? Do you want more demos? Tell us what you want.
What do you really, really want?
Yeah, what do you really, really want? Tell us in the chat now, or email us, or get us on Facebook or on Twitter, whatever. We intend, you guys are hearing it first, to do these again before Christmas. Can't remember how many we had planned. Can't count. The next one was in...
weeks before Christmas.
Well, we're not next week because we're out going to a party. But the next one will be 2 weeks today. We will do it all again 2 weeks today. And we want to hear from you what you want to see in it. What do you want included? Let us know. Otherwise, you're going to get my Christmas decorations, which Kevin would be fascinated with endlessly. But we want to know what you want to hear. It was just right, was it, Graham? Like the bears, just right. For a baby bear, it was just right. We have got bears as well. We haven't got a dog this week, though. We did have a dog this time last week, didn't we? We did last week. We had the lovely Lola. But she's back home this week. Swines. But sometimes we have a dog, in which case the said dog would be up here. Because Lola didn't stand on ceremony. Lola just barged about. Ollie had to be carried because he doesn't do stairs. So we had to cover his little eyes and carry him up. So sometimes we have a dog, sometimes we don't. But we're happy to do whatever you want. And in between times, that's setting a prayer, an expectation, isn't there? Would it be good to have a proper MacBites between now and then, do you think?
It would.
It would, wouldn't it? Who'd like a proper MacBites between now and then?
Don't all shout at once.
That means actually doing one. We can do this. We can do it. We've got this licked, haven't we?
We have. We could just put this out in the feed.
We could just put this
without the video.
Without the I don't think it'd work without the video. Do you? No, it wouldn't work without the video. But we will. We'll get onto MacBites, and the next after hours is going to be 2 weeks today. Same time, same place. Well, not quite the same place. It'll be a different URL. But it will be. Right. Enjoyed the show. You're drooling. What are you drooling? Are you drooling over the kit? Learning Pixelmator Pro. Oh, fantastic. That Pixelmator Pro, are you learning it from YouTube? Because they nicked the beginning of my video. There was another 15 minutes that they stole. What I'll do, Mike, make a note, Mike. I will send you, don't know if you're on the MacBites mailing list, but there is another 15 minutes of that. The first 15 minutes were whipped off it unceremoniously. I need to deal with that. You're making a note that I've got to get to, who have we got to get this to? D. Ashworth. Okay, what's the D stand for? Don't be shy. I will find the link for, it's on MacBites Learning with the full unadulterated version. So watch that. Pixelmator Pro. Do you remember when it all went to hell in a handbasket and they whipped the first 10, 15 minutes off it? Right, can I use it as a searchable storage bucket as in my current use for Evernote? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If I show you this one, which has only got that in it, but we have got Monday, haven't we? So if on Monday, things to do on Monday.
Drop us an email through the contact form. Yeah,
drop us an email through the contact form.
On MacBites.co.uk.
Right, what I'll do here is I will put in another to-do item, which is, I'll do that. Pixelmator Pro link to MacBites list. There you go. Not right, there you go. And then I'll move to another page. So I'm going to move to the household thing. So I'm somewhere else, Paul, and entirely. And I can't see the words in the sidebar here. But this quick find at the top is illogically Command and P. And if I just press Command and P and I type in there Pixelmator, I know it's in there somewhere, it comes straight up with it. It comes up with the page it's on and it shows it me in context, and I can just quickly get to it, and there it is. So yes, you could use it as storage repository. If you go for the paid plan, you can upload, they promise, as much as you like. And I know somebody in the Facebook group has uploaded videos of 200 meg and they've not balked about it. So you could, depending on how you want to build it, do anything you want with it. But yes, you can use it as search. That link should have given you 10 because you used mine. So what I'm going to do, Paul, are you signed up to the MacBites list? If you are, I'm going to get in touch with them because it's not working properly and it should be, and that's not on. So I'll get in touch with them. If you get in touch with them as well, that would be fantastic. You love being live for no event. We do. They do interrupt our fun, don't they, with their games demos? Swine. Right, Dee's Don. So good evening to you, Don. Yes, absolutely. I don't know why it did that. What happened is we do some chit-chat before and we do some chit-chat after, pretty much like we're doing now. And we take that off the version that goes out there. And it was fine. And then all the chat came back. So I thought, well, this isn't working. So I edited it again, at which point it whipped 15 minutes off it for no reason whatsoever. And YouTube don't want to do anything about it. But as I say, I've got a full version, a full local copy. So the quality will be better as well, just for added benefit. So I'll get a link for that. Oh, iPhone XR. Oh, were you not tempted by that Purple Thunder one, Graham? I couldn't work out the logic of releasing a new version of the colour a week after the first one. You're not going to change if you've already bought the first one. But the purple one did actually look rather nice. I was surprised. Very, very, very nice looking phone. We had hysterics trying to find one to touch and feel though, Graham. We've not done the O2 thing, but they assure us that they've got them in. But the thing with O2 is if you go in to buy one, you've got to give them £15. Now you're thinking, what for? For a SIM. But I don't need a SIM. I've already got one. We have to charge you anyway. But we did go in Curry's PC World. I know it was a sad story. And that she hadn't got a clue what we were talking about. I said, we've got a OnePlus 6T in. What's the manufacturer? I said OnePlus. She said, no, the people who manufacture the phone. I said, no, it's OnePlus. Bless her heart. She did find it online, but they didn't have any in stock. So, no, we've not been able to do that yet. I think price-wise, the OnePlus, and feature-wise, to be honest, the OnePlus has got to edge it. But the problem for us, as you pointed out, Graham, with you might want a watch, is we've already got one. So it wouldn't work. But I am itching for a new phone because I've had one for 2 years. And I seriously thought about this one, but we decided we'd wait till next year. But now I'm thinking, £550, he's giving me the evil again. So I got an iPad instead and thought, never mind, I'll do it next year. But yeah, I've heard the XR is amazing, and you could even consider it an upgrade from a 10, last year's model. So can't complain, can you? Paul, if we did the podcast live, it would get done. That's what I'd say, it would get done. But we will endeavour to do that. Right.
Approximate finished.
Just approximate. Well, we'll be wrapping up in the next 5 minutes. It was supposed to be an hour, but we went long. We always go long. So we'll be wrapping up very, very, very soon. You're not going to miss anything, promise. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, not a problem. I will get onto them, but if you would get onto them as well, that would help me greatly, because it didn't work with Mike either, but it did work with somebody else. So I don't know what on earth is going on there, because you should get $10 as well as the $5 you've already got, and I should get $5. And I don't know why that's not working.
Deborah needs to cook breakfast.
And does Deborah need to cook breakfast?
Full English.
Somebody needs to cook it. Midnight Black OnePlus. Is that the shiny one, Graham? I think that was the one we looked at.
Purple one out as well now.
Yeah, I said that, the Thunder Purple. Yeah, Thunder Purple. I'd probably go for the black. There was an offer on it, Graham, as well. There was another £100 off for Black Friday. It's going to get to the stage it'd be rude not to. And I'm going to have to visit Amazon. Drink! I don't think I'd do it this year, but I must admit I'm tempted for the camera. What I thought was fantastic was the low light mode, and I'm not sure if I want to wait another year for a low light mode on the iPhone. It's the matte one. Oh, which one were we looking at then? It was the most expensive one, Graham. I think it was 579. It had was it 256?
256 and 8 gig.
Yes, that's right. Because you said the iPhones don't tell you what memory they've got. But that video that Graham sent me and I sent him one, it did a comparison between the two and it was faster than the iPhone. And I thought that's faster than the current iPhone. And we've got an iPhone that's 2 years old. Need to print some money, I think. Melt the credit card again, you never know.
It's in the freezer.
I know it's in the freezer. Oh no, I haven't even looked at that foldable phone. I was happy to be blissfully ignorant of the foldable phone, because what I thought was I couldn't picture in my mind how that worked, and I thought, I'm blissfully ignorant of this and I'm staying that way. Surely when you fold it up, it just gets bulkier and bulkier. I couldn't really see the logic of foldable phone, but that could just be in my mind. You know, like people who said to us on iPad Day, it's just a big iPhone. How wrong were they? So I don't like saying things like that. Like, I can't see the point of it, but I can't see the point of it. I can't. I really can't at the moment.
Does that mean this is a little iPad?
That's a little iPad, yeah. Well, that's a medium. Well, it's not as small as a phone used to be, is it? That's MacBites Siri. That's MacBites Siri. Leave him alone while he's quiet. iPhone 10s. Is it 10s or XS or what? I have no idea what they call them these days. That one, the double camera. I was tempted, but when I looked at it, I wanted the one with the more storage, and that was when the phone came out to be £1,649, and I thought, you've got to be kidding me. My MacBook Air, I spec'd up. It's a BTO, the MacBook Air. I didn't mention that, did I? It's a BTO. It's got the larger hard drive. It's got a 500 gig hard drive and 16 gig of RAM. And that wasn't much more than the phone. And the iPad was cheaper than the phone, even with the cases. So I couldn't justify that phone, given the phone I had wasn't actually broken yet. But I think you'll reach a point where you have to, or the watch won't work. So I will probably upgrade next year. Well, I think we'll have to upgrade next year. Just have to accept it and hope that the iPad's not that sexy that you've got to have one of those as well. Unless you have got that money factory, but if you have, amazing. We need money. That's what we need. We need money. I'll send Mike out as a pole dancer. That should bring in a few quid, shouldn't it? Getting a dirty. Can I share your dirty? No. Oh dear, it's upside down. Hang on. Let me share your dirty look. No. I want them to see your dirty look. So let me get that on the screen and give me your best dirty look. Oh, the over the glasses dirty look. That's the one. The dirty look. There we go. I'm giving him just as dirty a look, but hey. Right, so don't forget to get in touch. We'll wrap up now. Don't forget to get in touch about what you want us to cover. So both. Oh, look at that. We're about 30 seconds behind and I'm getting the evil look. We want to know what you want us to talk about, what you want us to demo, everything. Just tell us what you want, okay? Tell us what you want. And remember, next After Hours, 2 weeks today, 9 p.m. UK time. We will put that out in the email. We would do next weekend, but we've been invited to a party. We could do a live from the party.
We could.
That might be interesting. That's not a million miles away from the truth. It absolutely isn't. So don't forget to get in touch. Put it in the chat now. The chat will be open for a couple more minutes, I think, after we finish, but then it just seems to disappear. So the best way to get in touch with us, go to the website, macbites.co.uk, use the contact form and tell us what you want. Glad you've enjoyed it, Patrick. This is pretty much like what we're like when we're recording.
Yeah.
Only it comes across as so much more professional when it's edited. She said.
Just don't edit it.
If I didn't edit the show, they've heard the outtakes from 100.
All my cock-ups will be in there. And the show will be 3 hours long.
Should we tell them about the funniest one?
What, when I lost the show notes?
No, that's the next show. No, that I thought the funniest one was that, well, there was two. No, it was the same day. My mum and dad were away and we said they'll ring when we're recording. So I took my phone into the studio. Big mistake. And it's there and it started going on with itself. And I thought, oh, it's mum and dad. So I said, hang on, I'll have to stop. And I picked the phone up and it was this woman on Facebook that I've no idea how I got hooked up with her on Facebook. And she's got this thing called the power of the mind. And I said, oh, good grief. Mike went, what? I said, that woman. And I couldn't remember her name. And I said, the power of the mind, woman. And this is in the recording of the show. That's why it needs editing. Because I'm effing and blinding over somebody interrupting me. And actually, tonight, I've had some text coming on my phone, but luckily not when it was live on the screen. All of that was to do with a Donald Trump toilet brush. I shall leave that there for now, the Donald Trump toilet brush, and we'll look at that next time. There's a story with that. We will open out next time with the Donald Trump toilet roll. And toilet brush. Yes, there was two.
Toilet roll was last Christmas.
Right, import the HTML files into Notion via import in the left sidebar and your images will not be separate. Oh, no! But you can drag them in separate. Get back and give them some feedback. They are pretty decent with the feedback. You can tell them that when you're complaining about your $10 that disappeared and my $5. Mike got onto them and they got back to him, so they should sort that out. They're working very, very hard on it. It's not new. It's been out for over 12 months, but version 2.0 is new. And I'm not importing stuff. I think that's my issue. And if I do, I bring it in as a PDF. I only showed you an absolute fraction of what that could do, but I thought showing you something specific with the meal planning would give you a better idea than, you can add this block and you can add that block. At least it was something real and something that we're actually doing with it. So I'm glad you thought it was fun. Thank you for all your kind comments. We will do it again, we promise.
And now we are going.
We're going to have something to eat. Fruit. Healthy fruit. Yeah. With some, what are those nuts? What are the nuts? Cashew nuts. They're my favourites. Unsalted cashew nuts. Graham, what are you having? So we'll wait for Graham to tell us what he's having because he always has sexy stuff. He has ice cream and he has chocolate and he has cakes and Eccles cakes. So that's a local delicacy, an Eccles cake. For the uninitiated, it's sort of suet pastry and currants, yes. But it's very nice. It is very nice, you've got to admit. But I haven't had an Eccles cake in years because I'm gluten-free. I've never seen a gluten-free Eccles cake.
No.
Somebody needs to make me a gluten-free Eccles cake. That's what I'll have for Christmas. So we'll just wait for Graham to tell us what he's having and then we will head off. And we'll see you next time. But we'll do that when Graham tells us what he's having. What shall we have a bet before he types it in?
Eccles cake.
No, apple pie. Mince pie! Nice one, Graham. Now, you can get gluten-free mince pies. We got those from Asda, and they were fabulous. We had them warm with cream. Diet didn't go too well that day, did it? No. But never mind. Right, well, until next time, we shall say good night. It's good night from me.
And it's good night from me.
And we will both see you next time. Night, guys.